Okay, let's get right into it. A single shooting in Minneapolis has just absolutely ignited a firestorm. Seriously, what started as a local incident has escalated and fast into a full-blown national standoff. We're talking the city, the federal government, and yeah, even Wall Street are all caught in the middle. And if you want to understand this whole thing, it really boils down to this one powerful phrase from a victim's family: whistles versus guns. I mean, wow, that just perfectly captures the heart of this conflict, right? It's all about this intense dispute over lethal force that has an entire city completely on edge. But, to really get how we got here, how this thing escalated so quickly, we have to go back to the very spark that lit this fire. So check this out. It all happened in less than a month. First, on January 7th, you have the death of Renee Good, killed by a federal agent. Then, just a couple of weeks later, an ICU nurse named Alex Preddy is killed during a protest. The city was already like a tinderbox, and these two events, well, they were the match. And this is where the story just splits right in two. On one hand, you have the DHS claiming, hey, this was self-defense. Our agents were dealing with an armed threat. But then you look at what witnesses and video from the ground are showing, and it's a completely different story. We're talking about a cell phone, not a gun in the victim's hand, and a weapon that was apparently already secured. See, this isn't just a simple disagreement. It's the absolute core of the entire conflict. And that's exactly how a dispute over what happened on a single street corner creates this cascade of conflicts that have now basically swallowed up the entire city and the state. The ripple effect was just immediate, and it went everywhere. This stopped being just a criminal investigation almost instantly. Now it's a legal war, with local investigators literally fighting for access to evidence. The city is actually suing the federal government. The tension is so thick it's spilling into everyday life. I mean, they even had to postpone an NBA game. So now, this local firestorm has landed smack dab in the middle of the White House. This forces the administration to make a really high-stakes strategic decision, one that's got massive political and, yes, economic consequences. So the big question is, what's the next move? The president is truly at a crossroads, and the choice they make is either going to pour gasoline on this fire or it's going to start to put it out. Let's actually look at the playbook here. The White House has a whole range of options, and each one comes with its own political and economic price tag. They could go hardline, right? Double down on their story. That'll play great with their base, but it's going to spook the markets with all the conflict. Or they could try for a cool down. Wall Street would love that, but their political opponents could easily frame it as weakness. It's a real tightrope walk, and there are no easy answers here. And this is exactly where the story shifts from being a local crisis to a national economic concern. The connection between what's happening on the streets of Minneapolis and the mood on Wall Street, well, it's surprisingly direct. To understand why the financial markets are watching Minneapolis so closely, you have to get what their greatest fear is in a situation like this. It's not about one company or one industry. It's about something much bigger. And that thing is uncertainty. Pure and simple. Uncertainty about the facts, about the political fallout, and maybe most importantly, about the stability of the government itself. When investors can't predict what's coming next, they get really nervous. And there's actually a way to measure that nervousness. It's called the VIX. A lot of people call it the fear index. Think of it as a barometer for market anxiety. When the VIX is low, everything's calm. But when it spikes, like it's doing now, it means investors are battening down the hatches, preparing for a storm. But here's the thing. This uncertainty doesn't hit everyone the same way. Some sectors, like security and defense tech, might actually see a boost because of the prospect of more government spending. But on the flip side, you've got consumer and retail businesses. They really suffer when social unrest disrupts daily life and people just lose confidence in spending money. Okay, so with all of these moving parts, what should you be looking for? What are the key signals that will tell you if this crisis is getting better or a whole lot worse? Here are the 5 big signals to watch. The first 2 are all about the evidence. What do the courts decide, and does any new video or forensic report get released? The next 2 are about the political response. Watch the White House's tone. Does it shift? And does Congress get involved? And finally, the most immediate sign. What's happening on the ground? Are things calming down, or are more events being canceled? These are the real-time indicators that'll tell us where this whole thing is headed. And all of this leaves us with this final, really crucial question. We've seen the politics, the legal battles, the market reactions. But when a local incident like this just explodes into a national crisis, who really pays the price in the end? It's definitely something to think about as this story keeps unfolding.